everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Hope everyone's doing good and happy upcoming holidays, of course. So, God, it's like next week and the next month, of course, or whatever you celebrate. Um, so I just wanted to do a quick video today. I came across something that was really interesting. Wanted to share it, see what your thoughts are. Just share the information. But about 5 years ago, there was an American missionary, and he went to a remote, deserted tribe to try and convert some of the native peoples there to Christianity. So they ended up killing him, unfortunately. But it's a fascinating story just to look into like human evolution and where we all were at one point, and where we're currently at, and then raises some interesting questions too. About just what to do in situations like this, or how to go about engaging or treating, indigenous tribes like this. There are very few. I think there's okay, don't quote me, but because I was doing a lot of reading earlier, I want to say that there's like less than 10,000 people that kind of fall into this category across the planet. And some are, I think, in Brazil in the rainforest, and then some are here off the coast of Thailand. They belong to a couple different groups, but it's considered part of India, though, even though the islands are over by Thailand. So, and there's a couple tribes. There's the Sentinelese tribes and the Jarawa tribes, I believe. So that's how you say it. And really, there's only like a few hundred left of each of them, and these are just guesses, so it could be less. So that's kind of the high end. So these are just two of the many peoples, but let me show you a little bit of the story online, and just to give you some more further information about this particular story. But I want to talk more about just the thought of, humans and our interaction with each other as well, because it raises some interesting questions, I guess. Okay, so here is a picture of John Chau. So he actually he initially went as a tourist. Now, these islands where the Sentinel tribe, where they live, they're protected by the Indian government. So there's been visitation to them a long time ago, over hundreds, even thousands of years they track back. So the Nicobar and Andaman Islands, I believe, North Sentinel Island in India, like it says here. This chain of islands is what they're called, the Nicobar Andaman Islands. Yeah, right here, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. There we go. Okay, so anyway, so he was going out there as a missionary. So there's like I was saying earlier, there's only like maybe 200-300 people. They think maybe up to 500, but probably less of the Sentinelese people. And they've been living there for like tens of thousands of years. Their way of life has been like unchanged forever, which is really crazy. There used to be a lot more of them. But over the year, disease, like even the common flu, the differences in our immune systems and everything like that, we're used to, we brought those things and like nearly wiped them out. So now they're a protected tribe. The Sentinelese people that killed him, they actually, right here, say it's estimated to be as low as 15 or as high as 500. Most estimates lie between 50 to 200. So they live a very basic lifestyle. They are hunters and gatherers. Like, no one interacts with them, and any attempts to even talk to them is hostile. There have been camera crews that have been shot out with bows and arrows, have been shot. Fishermen have landed there to fish and have gotten killed. So they're protected, and they're always hostile, so they're left alone. Now, there's another tribe called the Jarawa tribe, and you can actually watch it on YouTube. Some fascinating stuff. They're like a rival tribe, but people actually, there's been more interaction with them over the years. And like in this documentary, you can see they're actually speaking to them directly in their language or through like a secondary language. I don't know. But from what I can tell, like the Sentinelese people, here's a video. I think this is the actual documentary here. It was National Geographic. It was done in the 70s or something, where they kind of talked about them. The film director got shot in the leg with an arrow when they got too close to the island. So, but they didn't really interact with them. Beyond that, Now, but the Sentinelese people, they say, are there's some more information you can read online just to give you a start, on Wikipedia as far as like uncontacted tribes and um, like really ancient humans living how we once did too a long time ago. It's really really crazy to see this duality, this difference between on the same earth today. People living like this, they don't wear much, they don't have much in the way of clothing. They have huts, they're hunter gatherers, and they've been raising their families and doing this forever. And just on the other side of the planet, you have even India itself is like bustling modern day, like Mumbai, their main city. You have places like Tokyo, New York, quite the opposite. So you have these two sets of humans that literally represent our journey from the very beginning until now. So it's kind of fascinating. But it was unfortunate because this missionary who went there, to try and um, spread Christianity, and he landed on there. He was taken illegally. Some fishermen dropped him off because the island is off limits, and they killed him like they do with anybody who goes out there. So. But here's some of the basic information there. I just wanted to share that with you. So it's fascinating reading and very interesting. So, okay, so there's some of the information about that. And I did talk to John a little bit. I sent him a message, just to say hi and that sort of thing. Didn't really have too much of a back and forth conversation. But, was just reading about his story and wanted to be, reach out and say hi. So, what struck me as the most fascinating thing about this whole video was the question of like, what's the morality with interacting with these kind of people? Like, because I really got to thinking, because I see it from his standpoint. Just like with religion, people take that very seriously, and you want to be able to save others. Of course, others have their own belief system, and that should be respected as well. So where do the two meet in the middle? And it's hard to kind of define that with a hostile tribe, especially if you can't really speak the language or don't even know what their language is too much about or their culture. We know some about their culture, I guess. But what's curious, too, is he might have brought disease to them that could have wiped out the rest of the island, because their immune systems are still, it already happened to him once. Who knows if he brought something, this is before COVID, but, that's a good example. Like, what if, could have been anything, even other than the common flu that he may have, and could have just literally wiped him out. So, now what's kind of ironic is, what if they do get sick from someone like this who's trying to reach them, or something does come up where only advanced Western medicine can save them? How do we know unless we monitor or interact with them to a certain degree and stop them from dying out? Like, what if it's endemic to their island? In other words, what if it's natural to where they live, like a new disease comes up and it starts killing them off, and we can save them with our technology, but we won't know unless we monitor or interact with them somehow. Or worse yet, if it's something we bring to them, so because I saw a lot of comments in the comment section, talking about, leave them alone, they're protected people, and they should be respected and that kind of thing. But there was a lot of people who was on the other side of that argument saying, murder is murder. They shouldn't just murder people for showing up on your shore. It's like, but I could see that's like their home. It's their island. We can defend our own homes with lethal force if necessary. Communication needs to be established. So it's like, how do we even do that while trying to protect or preserve their culture? And I was thinking, is it morally responsible for us to allow them to just exist like that? Like, sure, they're doing fine, and there's not very many left of them, but they've been living there forever and they managed to survive. So it's like, why not just leave them alone? On one hand, of course, but without really contacting them, how do we know if they need help, or how we can help them, or if they even want to evolve or learn from us using technology and that sort of thing? Because some of the other tribes similar to them have. So in order to discuss this aspect of their ability to choose free will, and how to maintain what they have or just shut everybody out completely, it's in my mind it raises an interesting question, because if you have the ability to help someone, because if you're like, oh, just leave them alone, they want to be left alone. That's like saying, if you know someone's over there and they're dying or they're dying off, um, or they may possibly have issues and you don't want to ask or you don't want to help, um, that's morally wrong. It's not morally right to just say, oh, let them be, they've been there forever, and they should be preserved and protected and respected. um, to a certain degree, ways of life should be respected and allowed to, flourish free from harm from others as well. But the communication needs to be brought up, because otherwise, how could we know thoroughly what they believe, if they even, want to be helped or left alone? I mean, it's like maybe they don't have a developed language left to be able to have this conversation. So it is. And to have like the gift of evolved knowledge or language or medicine or that sort of thing where you can help others, even though that, they seem to be doing all right, um, to keep that from someone without offering them the opportunity seems, don't colonize it, take them over and just force it down their throats, but at least give them the option or learn to communicate with them and see what's best for them that way. So, because if there's only like on the low ones, remember, there's only like 50 left, or even up to 500 left, that's not a lot. So they dwindled down to almost nothing. There used to be like thousands of them all over the islands, and then the flu and variety of people that kind of came through there for a number of reasons, just kind of their numbers dwindled. So you think about it too. If say there's only 50 people and they start repopulating the island, there's a moral necessity to step in a little bit as far as I mean, inbreeding, for example. I was thinking about that, and but that's a true concern there, because if it's done too much, you can create. It's considered, at least like in the Western world, what's the term for it? I forget, cruel and unusual punishment, maybe, or something like that. It's illegal, and because it knowingly creates genetic deformities among humans, and can create problems, lower IQs, things like that. It's like harmful. So again, it's that question of should we get involved, or how much, or should we just let them be? But it almost seems like, when they get down to that low of a number, uh, some sort of assistance or communication is needed. I don't know. So those are just my thoughts on it. I want to see, like, what do you guys think about that too? It's a curious question, isn't it? Like, they're living such a basic lifestyle, and they're one of the last uncontacted tribes on Earth that we know nothing about. So do we have a responsibility to go in there as careful and as safely as possible and assist and observe, or is it best to just leave them alone? It's an interesting thought, isn't it? So I think there's a lot of, I can see the argument go both ways, but I think when you're in an advanced position to help, and there is possible issues and that sort of thing, not doing something is the wrong thing to do. So, and you don't really know until you go and find out what's going on, So, well, there you have it. I thought it was an interesting story and I wanted to share it. So go check it out and read about it. It's fascinating. I don't know. I love that kind of thing, like human history and different cultures and that kind of thing. So thanks again for watching. And let me know if you come across anything, or have any questions, or what your thoughts are, of course, or have any ideas or suggestions or anything. Thank you for watching. Have a great holiday upcoming season, of course. And we'll see you in the next video.